together. We're all in this together. Yeah, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. With one heart life was begun, flowing love to everyone. There is no place outside this love. Life is one for all and all for one, 'cause we're all in this together. 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 In the heart of generosity, we can fill every need. When I give to you, I give to me. For what we give, we shall receive. We're all in this together. Together we stand. We're all in this together. Together we rise. We're all in this together. Say with one heart, we're all in this together. With love in our eyes, every beat of the heart of man returns us to our source again. So together we grow and together we stand, co-create our sacred plan. We're all in this together. Together in truth, we're all in this together. Together in trust, we're all in this together. With one heart, we're all in this together. Together in love, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. With one heart, we're all in this together. With love in our eyes.
Oh, great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Oh, great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. no greater blessing neath moon and sun. O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. No greater blessing, oh great Spirit. No greater blessing, oh great Spirit, neath moon and sun. Oh great Spirit, no greater blessing neath moon and sun. Oh great Spirit, no greater blessing.
Good morning and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. This is Maxine Kaye joining you along with our wonderful production crew here from the Inspiration Cafe in Paoli, Pennsylvania. We're so glad that you're with us today wherever you are geographically, and certainly wherever you may be on your spiritual journey. We're all having this walk together. And it's a wonderful thing to be together. It's a brand new month, isn't it? It's our first Sunday in August. And that's a very wonderful time for us to come together to celebrate the principle that we teach in Science of Mind, to remember that God is all there is, and that you and I are beloved, unique expressions of that one life. And we are here reminding each other about the truth of our nature and about what is true beyond appearances. And we're so grateful to be with you today. This is a place of love, a place of acceptance, a place of learning and growing and thriving. And we walk with each other. We walk with each other on the joyous paths. We walk with each other on the challenging trails as well, because we are one in spirit. So join us today with that wonderful awareness that with God all things are possible. That we're here recognizing that our vision is about awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Did you ever think of yourself as spiritually magnificent? Well, stick around. I'm going to do my best to remind you of that truth, because we're working together to create a world that works for everyone, a world that works for all. all sentient beings, all creatures, and the planet itself, of course. So this is how we begin. And we know that there is a powerful statement that we often use, our purpose statement, that we'd love to have you join us in saying, if you care to. Are you ready? Living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And with that, we begin with the opening song by Faith Rivera called Rise.
I close my eyes, I open my heart, I take a deep breath, let the healing start. I lift up my hands, I plant my feet, I let love in, I feel the beat that's calling, calling, calling us to rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. I ready my soul, I clear my mind, I'm here and now, in present time. I feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. Oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Rise, spirit rise up, rise in me, rise in me. I sing to you, I sing to you, you sing to me, you sing to me. Change up this noise, it makes me in harmony. Rise in me, oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me, rise in me, heart to heart, heart to heart, hand in hand, hand in hand, no turning back. Onward the light brighter, brighter. Come on, lift your hands up, jump. Reach for the sky, on up higher, yeah. Come on, lift your voices, shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Ooh, come on and rise, 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 rise up.
Well, I'm inspired. That was wonderful. Thank you, Faith. May I have a word with the kids, please? Hey there. Good morning. Good Sunday morning. It's still August. You haven't gone back to school yet that I know of, so enjoy the day. Speaking of school, you know, when we come into this world, each one of us a beautiful, individualized expression of God's life. Our hearts are open. We see the world as a beautiful place. We see people as the loving beings that they are. And I've heard stories, true stories, about children, very small children in nursery school or kindergarten, who just love one another. And if there are differences in appearances, it doesn't make any bit of difference, not a bit of difference at all. And then sometimes as we get older and we're in school, sometimes people aren't always nice to each other. Have you noticed that? Sometimes people get picked on. I hope that never happened to you, but it certainly could. It's something that happens after a while when people start forgetting who they are and who everyone else is. And sometimes kids are even bullied. And I read a true story about a little boy who was bullied because he was just a little bit different, and the kids were not nice to him. And when it came time to sign the yearbook, nobody would sign his yearbook. How sad is that? How wrong is that? And a celebrity heard about this, and he came and signed his yearbook, his whatever the book was, and it shifted everything, because the other kids in the school saw this happening and realized that this little boy was a pretty special guy, and they changed their opinion and action and behavior toward him. Well, it shouldn't have taken that, right, for that to happen, but that's what it did. And it just was so wonderful to heal this little boy's heart. And it also, I think, helped the other kids to realize that that was not the way to go. Well, you and I have a choice every day. If we're going to be loving and kind to other people, whether we know them or not, starting, of course, with our own families and our close circle of friends, and then the people in school and people that we meet, we have a choice every day. Will I see that we are all one in the heart and mind of God? Will I be kind and compassionate with other people, starting with myself, or not? This is our choice. Let's make the right choice every day. Let's remember, we are all connected. We're all part of the presence of the divine life of God itself. Let's see right through to that beautiful, beloved truth within each of us. Be kind. It's easy to do. It really is. And it feels so good for everybody. Have a wonderful day. I love you very much and hope to see you before long. Bye for now. There they go. Okay, let's have a meditation, shall we? Let's breathe in that divine life of spirit that renews and heals and energizes, inspires, for inspire means to breathe in, and to exhale, releasing any form of negativity or limitation. Come into the presence of the love of spirit, the wholeness, the realization that there is no separation. As we dive deeply into the heart of God, we are caught and held and nurtured and embraced and loved and healed. There is peace that abounds within our hearts, realizing that our hearts are all being profoundly and tenderly embraced in the divine heart, the cosmic heart itself. And so it is here that we rest, allowing ourselves to feel the renewing energy of this divine presence. It moves through our bodies with grace and ease, releasing anything which no longer serves us, bringing us to a great awareness that peace and power are fully present at all times within us, and that infinite harmony underlies all of the activities of the world. How sweet it is to remember this, and we continue to allow this divine energy to move through our physical body temples. We also invite it now to move through our emotions, bringing a sense of peace, tranquility, harmony, and love, infinite love moving through us. And we invite this divine energy now to move through our minds, bringing balance and clarity and sweet inspiration. We're so grateful to feel this loving, wise, and wonderful energy moving through the physical, the emotional, and the mental, which is our persona. So grateful to feel the flow of divine spirit moving through the instrumentation of our persona. And in this place of clarity and compassion, peace, power, and love, we now invite this wonderful energy to move out from us into the world itself, and to fill it with new hope and new possibility, to open the eyes and the hearts and the minds of all the beloveds, to heal what needs to be healed, to reveal what is ready for spirit to reveal to us, a new vision of a new, beautiful, harmonious world that truly does work for all. So let's simply come within to that sacred place of serenity and listen for the answers of any questions we may have. Thank you, sweet, sweet Spirit, for the infinite wisdom which continues to flow through us, to guide, nurture, direct us. So grateful for the beloved, which is forever loving and supporting and inspiring us in this beautiful, beautiful life journey.
held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me with every breath, with every step. God is holding me. 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 I'm held in love. I'm held in peace. God is holding me with every breath, with every step. God is holding me. 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 God is holding me.
Oh, lovely. And now for our opening treatment, all the way from Florida, Bo Smith.
Good morning. My name is Bo Smith, and I am a religious science practitioner with the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. It is my honor to provide the opening treatment this morning. As I do so, I will be doing so in the first person, so I invite you to take it on for yourself if you would like. So let's go within for a few minutes, breathing deeply and mindfully, remembering that at the center, at the very core of our being, is that spirit of life, the spirit of love and light and power. That one spirit is infinite. It is whole and complete just as it is. And thus we are whole and complete just as we are, here and now. As I recognize this spirit within, this life within me, I do so in gratitude and I do so in love, knowing that that spirit of life and power and peace is what animates not only myself, but all of my fellow sisters and brothers throughout the world. This one life that animates each of us, that operates through all of us, as us, is who I am in this moment. And in this moment of recognition, in this moment of unification with that spirit that I am, I now declare the truth of my being. I am perfect, whole, and complete just as I am. And I outpicture that perfection, that wholeness in everything that I think, say, and do moving forward. In this consciousness of unity, in this consciousness of love, in this consciousness of beauty and peace and power and joy, I do so mindful that I have a part to play in this life. I am grateful for this part to play in life, for I am a part of life, since life flows through me as me. As I open up to this wisdom, to this revelation from within, I do so listening to all of the cues coming to me from outside, all of the wonderful divine nudges from the world. I listen to the message provided today. I listen to that inner voice that speaks through others, showing me the way as well. As I absorb this wisdom from this service today, from the music and the message, I do so in deep gratitude, knowing that I am a part of this beautiful spiritual community, operating beautifully within this world. As I begin to recognize this power within and within everyone else, I do so mindful that who I am matters. Who we all are matters. Just taking a moment to breathe that truth in deep gratitude for this truth of who I am, of who we are. I now release my word into the divine law within, knowing that it knows what to do and how to do it to outpicture as a perfect demonstration going forward. I look forward to the rest of this service, to the rest of my weekend, to the rest of my week ahead, knowing that all is well. Releasing this word of truth, I allow myself now to be so. And so it is.
Thank you, Bo. Now will you repeat with me our affirmation for today, please? I reach mentally and emotionally beyond all artificial barriers and invite Spirit to reveal the deeper unity of all life and all beings. And so it is. All right. Okay, it's a new month. We have the same theme for the year from Centers for Spiritual Living, which is Living Everyday Wonder. That is a great theme, isn't it? And the theme for August from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living is Loving the World to Wholeness. Loving the world to wholeness. And we're going to go about that today, because today's topic is we unify and not divide. Let's start with some profound words from our founder, Ernest Holmes, from the textbook Science of Mind on page 477. We must unify and not divide. The Spirit must go forth into creation through law and action. Life must enter living, and God must flow through man if there is to be a real representation of the divine through the human. That's what we're all about. We are the representation of the divine in human form. Someone said recently that we're divine, we're spiritual, with human masks on. We're wearing our people masks. And that's great, because we love this human experience, but we love it more when we open our hearts and minds to the flow of divinity through us. You see, the essence of divine love dwells within and around all beings, no exception, no exception. So why is it so difficult for us to perceive it, do you suppose? Why do we not always feel ourselves in love with life and in the flow of compassion? Why do we not always experience ourselves there? Well, I guess a question might be, how much does the water cooler conversation and the media encourage us to forget our divine origins? We need perhaps to pay a little more attention to the truth within rather than the noise without. You see, We should ask ourselves sometimes, am I taking my human activities too seriously? And when I do that, am I forgetting who I am? Do we raise our children with that mindset? Don't you think maybe that's where it begins? Let's focus differently on how we bring up our beautiful little beings. Let's focus on how we can raise the consciousness to the degree that more people are willing to dive more deeply into their divine centers and to behold that divinity within others. Diane Lumens, years ago, wrote a wonderful poem that I'd like to share, and it's about raising children. If I had my child to raise over again, I'd build self-esteem first and the house later. I'd finger paint more and point fingers less. I would do less correcting and more connecting. I'd take my eyes off my watch and watch with my eyes. I would care to know less and know to care more. I'd take more hikes and fly more kites. I'd stop playing serious and seriously play. I would run through more fields and gaze at more stars. I'd do more hugging and less tugging. I'd see the oak tree in the acorn more often. I would be firm less often and affirm much more. I'd model less about the love of power and more about the power of love. Do you love it? I love it. And see, we can apply this to our adult lives right now. How we perceive and deal with other people. How we see them, how we experience them, how we connect with them. So how will we love the world to wholeness? How are we going to do that? It is in seeing from the heart of love and unity that we can perceive the truth of our oneness. And this takes divine discipline. Oh, do you know I love the word discipline? I love the word discipline. It's the same root as disciple. I wish to be disciple to the Great Spirit within me, don't you? And a dear minister friend of mine many, many years ago said to me, discipline is simply loving yourself enough to do what is good for you. Well, it is good for me to awaken my divinity. It is good for me to see from my heart, because there is the eye of love, the eye of compassion, the eye of wisdom. It's good for me to do that. It might be good for you to do that too. See, it begins by recognizing our own divinity. If you realized that you were God in expression, wearing this human face, you might think a little more highly of yourself. You might speak more appropriately about the beautiful being that you are. You see, as we fill up our own vessel with love, and wisdom, and truth, it is so much easier then to pour that energy out to connect lovingly with other people. If we're going to love the world to wholeness, don't you think we'd better start by loving ourselves? Truly loving, truly. This isn't ego. This is, I, the imperfect, adore my own perfect. Isn't that great? I, the imperfect, adore my own perfect. Because there are imperfections in our human experience. But there is no imperfection. There is only perfection in the spiritual life that is our reality. That is such good news. So it begins by recognizing our divinity. And it continues by beholding the spirit within others. Starting where? Starting with our own family. Starting with our own beloveds. starting with the people close to us and continuing with the people who are perhaps on the periphery of our everyday experience and yet very much a part of our lives, and continuing by moving out and connecting with people that we may never meet. Now that's an exciting idea, isn't it? That as we perceive the beloved within all sentient beings, we're already connected without ever having said a how do you do or having a cup of tea. Friends, neighbors, and eventually, here's another thought. What if eventually we're able to connect on this heart level with what we may previously refer to as enemies? Start by turning your enemy into a frenemy. Yeah, that simply means finding some common ground. Yeah? When we find common ground, we're no longer in conflict with each other. When we find common ground, I believe we become uncommonly successful. Many, many years ago, I read a book about negotiation called Getting to Yes. A little paperback, simple and profound concepts and very wise methods to find a way to connect with someone you may be having a conflict with so that you can negotiate respectfully and caringly, listening to what truly the other person's needs or concerns or fears may be, and finding common ground. I love the idea of getting to yes. Many years ago, I was in the process of selling my home in Alamo, California. And the doctor who was buying it had a lot of desires for me to do in order to complete the contract, and continued even after the sale was complete. So I thought, okay, I'll meet with him. And I had read my book, Getting to Yes. And it was a wonderful meeting because there was no antagonism and there wasn't any, but wait a minute, I sold it already, this is over, you can't ask me anymore. I listened, and I actually had some repairs made that really didn't, in my mind, need to be made, but they needed to in his. And, you know, the relationship is always more important than the discussion and the outcome of what seems to be needed and wanted. Maintaining the relationship is always more important, even if you never see them again. It just leaves a wonderful feeling in our hearts. And that's important. That's important in our work, our beautiful divine spiritual work in loving the world to wholeness, is finding a way to get to yes. Now, you know about our braver angels. They began as better angels and then became even braver angels. And this is when we had our facility, and we would sometimes be the meeting place where our wonderful people, the birds, had experienced this beautiful organization where red people and blue people would get together and have very respectful, very productive conversations, heart to heart, opening minds to listen to another person's point of view. This is an organization that, so far as I know, is still going all over the country. And don't you think it's a good thing, and don't you think it's needed right now? There is so much division. We need more multiplication. Multiplying the love, multiplying the caring, multiplying the respect, and moving away from the dividedness. So we need to stop pointing fingers and, like the poem, do more finger painting. Maybe that would be a good way to get to yes. Invite someone not to tea necessarily, but to a finger painting session. Something that we can do that lightens our hearts, that brings us back to that pure, innocent sense of the child that isn't judging and just wants to play with you. Don't you know, we all just want to play with each other. We all just want to love each other. We just need to remove the fears and the condemnation and the judgments and the criticisms that all come from fear, right? If it's different, I have to be afraid of it. No. If it's different, let me get excited about learning about it. And then let me find what we have in common. You know, in the 70s, there was a wonderful book that came out called New Games. Anyone familiar with New Games? These were games that everybody could play, usually large groups of people. I would take my congregation in Alamo out to Lomamar, which is a great center near the ocean, and very rustic, but oh, how good it was. And we played new games. I would go to the Army surplus store and I would rent a parachute. And we'd have games where everybody would be running back and forth underneath the parachute and others would be holding it up. There were so many tag games where there's no winner. Everybody's a winner. There's no loser. Everybody gets to win. And it is such a wonderful feeling to experience this sense of community. New games. We need a new game in this world. We need a new game that is healthy and happy and respectful and digs deeply, is willing to go beyond the appearances into the truth and into the joy of connecting with each other. So what do we have in common? That's what we want to find. And we always can. And isn't it interesting that in the Middle East, that all the conflict and the wars and the hatred and so forth, if they would just sit down and eat together because everybody eats the same food, you can't tell unless you are talking with the people whether the food has come from Israel or from Jordan. It's delicious. Sit down together, have a meal. You all like hummus, remember? Something in common. Think about someone with whom you may be having an upset or a conflict and you just seem to be at loggerheads. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what might it be that he and I or she and I have in common? And then enter into that. Find a way to experience it. And that's when we start moving from condemnation. We see the good in others. We move then from having adversaries to creating allies. Don't you love the idea of having hundreds, thousands of people as your ally? Don't you love the idea of being an ally? As people are coming together with ethnicity, with political divides, with other major differences. Don't you love the idea of us being allies rather than adversaries? This is how we're going to love the world to wholeness. I just learned recently about something so wonderful that I'm using as a visual for us healing our divide in this country. Did you know that there is a nonprofit organization that has created the Great American Rail Trail? It'll take a few years for it to get completed, but it is already in process. It will be a 4,000-mile hiking and cycling road that will go from one end of the country to the other. And it's all built on old railroad routes. There'll be one path, 4,000 miles, where we can go from one end of our nation to the other. Now, there are pieces of it already built. And I understand that we can actually go to Pittsburgh, those of us who live here, and it's not far. We can get on that trail, walking or cycling, and we can go a certain distance. There's a place they're building already in D.C. They're building them all over the country. And we will ultimately have a complete national connection. Don't you love that picture? That is what I'm talking about. That is such a good vision for me, that I know we can find ways and means to be connected rather than so disconnected. We can. In fact, we must. You and I are doing our important part right now to have that happen. Get a bike. Get ready for this. because it's a beautiful, beautiful picture of how we are one nation, not only under God, but in God, and expressing from that divine center. This is our beautiful opportunity. The Great American Rail Trail. Well, next week, you get to tune in to Unity in Multiplicity. And this will be a deeper dive into cherishing each other and thrilling to our true oneness. Now, this was to have been Reverend Mike's response to this talk. And now, instead, it will be my response to my talk. Because we all are in this together, as our first musical piece said this morning. We are all in this together. And isn't it wonderful? Isn't it beautiful that we have this opportunity to continue to move along in our spiritual journey, to continue on our individual paths, and to celebrate and honor each other's paths and find our common ground, find what we have in common. The first thing, of course, the main thing, the most important thing we have in common is the thing itself. That divine expression of God's life which underlies everything and from which all of us sprang forth. We all came from that same life and we live in that life right now. Let's begin there. That's where everything begins. Begin at the beginning. Will you say with me, I cease judging. I cease blaming. I cease criticizing. I listen with an open heart. I speak from oneness. I move from two-ness to oneness. And I love inviting people into my heart. And so, my beloveds, beginneth your lesson. Thank you. Now we have our offertory. Yay! One of my favorite things to do. I love to circulate my good because my good comes from my God. And by the way, so does yours. On the screen you'll see many different ways you can contribute. Many of you do contribute automatically, and thank you for that. However you send in your love offerings, we are so grateful for that. And I like to give mine this way. Let's say our affirmation, our prosperity affirmation together. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered. And so it is.
There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus or Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. What we are is one. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Good morning, everyone. Tissue in hand after that rendition by Daniel Nahmad. Love that song. And just as a reminder, that was from our 2020 solstice celebration. And I have to share with you that I've been watching that recently. On a personal note, have been going through some lifey moments, right? Some challenges here and there. And I went back, you know, from the darkness to the light was the concept for this winter solstice. So I went back and watched the 2020 solstice celebration, and it really shifted my whole energy. So don't forget, just even though it's not winter solstice, that recording is available on YouTube or in our library at our website, and it may just be the thing you need if you're going through a difficult time also. So love that. Love that. My name is Edie Janik. I am the president of the Board of Trustees for the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. And here with your announcements today. So, Dr. Maxine. Love the hair, by the way. And also, that talk was very, very chock full of wisdom. And I have to say that the thing that I'm taking away with me, probably forever and ever, is the frenemy instead of the enemy. Frenemy. That was very cute. So thank you. All right. And thank you all for joining us this morning. We're happy that you decided to share your morning with us. Here we are live streaming from the Inspiration Cafe. And as we do each Sunday, except for when we have an in-person, which we are trying to do more of. So make sure you're checking out the information, emails that are sent out from cslphilly.com. Also, GPCSL info, I think, is the email that sends out the weekly updates. So you'll want to take a look at those, visit our website, check out our calendar, go to the events listed on our calendar, and you can register for different things. Like our next in-person event. Now, this is not a Sunday in-person Sunday celebration. This is a Saturday in-person event. Oh, I have to make room for this. Ta-da. Oh, that's not enough room. Okay, I got to make a lot of room for that. Okay. So we're excited to invite you to join us at our next in-person event, which is going to be our second Labyrinth Walk for World Peace. And it's on Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. at St. Thomas Church in Fort Washington. And our Labyrinth facilitator will be Jane Downey, who is a beloved GPCSL member and an experienced and certified Veriditas Labyrinth facilitator. So thank you, Jane, for that, for supporting us in these events and sharing your talent with us. It's a beautiful labyrinth. The last time we had it, it was at St. Pete's Episcopal Church over closer here to Paoli, but this one in Fort Washington, I hear, is fabulous. So I think there's a little picture of it, too, right there. So after we go through our walk, and it's a rain or shine event, after we go through the walk, then, we're going to go have lunch somewhere, go hang out, chat, catch up. So please join us. Details and to register, you'll want to go to our events calendar for August 20th. You'll see the event listed there. You can click on it and sign up. So we hope you'll join us for that. Also, Reverend Mike's Science of Mind textbook group continues with their book study of the Science of Mind textbook. Saturday mornings, 9:45 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like to jump in, you're more than welcome to jump in. They'd be happy to welcome you into the group. And again, that's on our events calendar. Wonderful experience there with a wonderful, wonderful group of people. And don't forget, if you're watching Sunday Celebrations, which I know you are, and Love Notes on Facebook and YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share with others. When you subscribe, you'll receive notices when our Sunday Celebrations and our daily Love Notes are uploaded. And by sharing, you're helping other people that may be just at the right and perfect time to be introduced to our living, loving, learning spirituality that works. So spread the word. And we'll continue to live stream. We'll let you know when we're having an in-person event or an in-person Sunday celebration. And we're really happy that you joined us today. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Edie. You're the real deal. I just love you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, then it must be time to have our closing song. But before we do that, do you know that this is the first Sunday of the month? And what does that mean? Birthday Sunday. So if you are an August baby, will you kindly stand so we can virtually sing to you? Hit it, maestro. Hit it, maestro. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear celebrate yourself all month long. And now we'll have a closing song by Karen Drucker. We've had so many of our favorites today. This one is called We Are the Ones.
Hey, be the change that you want to see. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. We are. We are. We are the ones. We are. We are. I've been feeling like I can't make a difference. I've been feeling like there ain't no use. Feeling tired and a little unconscious. Coming up with every kind of excuse till I realized it's not all up to me. When we join together, we shape our destiny to see a world where we are living as one. It can be, it shall be, it will be done. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. We are. We are. Yes, we are the ones. We are. We are. No one else gonna make the changes. No savior gonna drop from the sky. Nothing left to do but wake up. 'Cause it's really up to you and I to take it one step at a time. Stand together with your hand in mine. Then we will see the world that we've been dreaming about. We need it now. The time is now. There is no doubt. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. I know we are the ones. We are. We are. We are the ones. We are. We are. And I am the one that I've been waiting for. I know I am the one who will make that difference. I am the one who will change the world. Yes, I am the one. I am. I know I am the one. I am. And we are the ones. We are. We are. Be the change that you want to see now. We are. We are. I know that you can do it. You are. You are. You are. You are. I know that we are. We are. We are. Every day make that change now. We are. We are. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are.
And so as we go forth today, it is with total unconditional love in our hearts, ready to connect deeply with every sentient being and to love the world to wholeness. And so it is.